So, good evening, everyone. We are here for yet another episode of our Industry Connect series. We have someone special with us today who will be telling us about the topic Embrace the Corporate World. He is the Vice President of RMESI. It's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Mohan Srikumar. Welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
This is an invitation to step into a dynamic environment filled with challenges, growth, and endless opportunities. To give an introduction about the session and the speaker, I welcome Mr. Anand MS, General Manager and Head of Product at SkillActz. Finally, I welcome all others who are present here today. Let's make this an interactive session. Students, please note a Google form will be shared at the end of the session. Please fill in the Google form to receive certificate of participation. Over to Mr. Anand, sir.
Thank you. Hope you can hear me. I still have some issues with my mic. Jovia, can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. So, once again, a very good evening to everyone. Happy to have another session of Industry Connect for the student community. As you all might know, that SkillActz is a platform focused on fresh talent, employability, jobs, upskilling, things like that. So this initiative is part of our efforts to contribute to the student community, to give everyone a chance to listen to speakers and leaders and other people from the industry, and understand how we can prepare better for our transition from campus life to corporate life. So that is about the session. And today's speaker, I'm happy to introduce Mr. Sri Kumar. He is Vice President at RM Education Solutions India. So you might all know about RM, but still, it is one of the oldest companies here in Technopark. So has been here since the very beginning of Technopark. It is part of the RM PLC group in the UK, providing various education solutions and products for schools and educational institutions in the UK. So, and they have a team of people supporting from here. So, long before the word, GCC and global capability centers and all that became fashionable, Aram has been doing that from India and from Trivandrum here for a long time. So that is about Aram. And to introduce Mr. Srikumar, he has been in the IT industry for a very long time after his engineering from the NSS College and his master's at the Asian Institute of Management in Manila. So he has been continuously in the IT industry in a lot of the major companies and handling Fortune 50 level clients, delivery and things like that. He was senior manager, program manager at Mindtree. He was delivery leader at USG Global. And after that, he was also a senior director and practice leader at Capgemini. In all these companies, he has been handling very large global clients in digital security, retail, financial services, and in domains like that. And at RM, he has been here for more than 8 years now, and he's leading a team of more than 500 members, and handling a division that is generating more than $100 million in revenue. And so so that we have the right kind of person today to talk to us about how we can prepare for a career and various trends in that domain. I don't think I should take more time than this to introduce. So I will hand over to you, sir. So
Thank you, Anand, and it's a pleasure for me to talk to young talents, right, that you have. So thanks to SkillActz for giving me an opportunity. So let me try and share my presentation. Uh, is anyone else sharing or?
No, sir, no one else is sharing. I've
Okay.
stopped.
Yeah, it says that one participant can share at the same time. I'm sorry, because not very familiar with the Zoom. Yeah, I think now probably I will be able to share.
the screen is visible now.
Okay. I hope it is visible now, right?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Okay. So again, good evening to all, and thank you for your time. Uh, Generally, I prefer to have this session face to face, but I know, right? We have a lot of constraints, and that's why I think we are kind of having an online session. Because when we actually kind of talk to people in person, right, that's always kind of a different experience, right? So just as Anand was mentioning, right, I've been in the IT industry for close to 30 years now. I worked with companies like Mindtree, UST Global, Capgemini, and been in RM for about close to 9 years now. I was also very fortunate to work for some of the biggest customers or names in the industry, like Walmart, GE, General Electric, and I've learned a lot from those customers also. So it was a kind of interesting journey for me. And currently I'm with RM. RM, as Anand was mentioning, right, we are into the tech industry. We serve customers across the world, but specifically a lot of our customers are from the UK area. And RM has a very interesting purpose, which is very tightly linked with the session that I'm taking. So our purpose is that, right, it's a kind of a noble purpose that we have, how we can enrich the lives of learners. All of you are learners, all of us are learners, right? We are learning something every day. So it's very much matching with the purpose of the company that I'm currently working. So with that, let me get into the discussion. So, I know since it's an online session, we may have some restrictions on if someone want to kind of interrupt me and ask questions in between, it's okay. Otherwise, I think there's a Q&A planned in between or probably towards the end of the session. So definitely, I'm happy to kind of answer any questions during that time.
I think we'll probably have it at the end.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine with me. So before I get into the topic, right? This is what we are going to discuss today. I already talked about me. The purpose of the session, I want to spend a couple of minutes on what we are going to discuss here. So what we are going to talk about is that how the job market is changing. There's a lot of transformation happening in the job market. So how the job market is changing. We will also talk about how you can prepare yourself for a selection process. It could be an interview, or it could be a test. So there are some tips that I would like to share on how you can prepare for a selection process. Then we will talk about the corporate world. When you get into the corporate world, what are some of the things that that you have to keep in mind? Some of the tips that I had experienced through my career, I will share that. So that's what we are going to talk about. Before I get into the next slide, right? I mean, in fact, I have two questions. I know I talked about the constraints of having an online session, right? So if it is a live session, or if it is a in-person session, I would have asked for a uh, 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 for a hands up kind of thing, or hand kind of thing. But now I know the constraint. But definitely, you can answer these questions to yourselves. Um, in last 1 month, um, how many books that you have read? When I talk about books, it could be a technical book, or it could be a topic of your interest. It could be a management book. So, how many of you have read at least a book in last 1 month? Second question I have is that how many of you have attended a training or achieved a certification in last 3 months? So these are a couple of questions that probably you should answer, or you should ask yourself. Why I'm saying is that, right, and it is very important for you to be updated about what is happening around the world. It could be related to technology, it could be related to other topics also, but you should be conscious about what are the things that are happening in the world. And definitely, right, these are a part of, a couple of questions, right, that definitely help you to answer yourself that are you getting updated on a regular basis? Are you in pace with the things that are happening in the world? Okay. So with that, let me jump into my first slide. So I talked about this, right? I mean, the job market, the job transformation is happening very quickly. A lot of jobs have started disappearing. Right? I mean, a lot of jobs, like say, for example, a teller in a bank, right, will soon disappear, because nobody, there are very hardly any people that may go to a bank and kind of avail the service of a teller. So there are jobs like that are going to quickly disappear. There are jobs that are going um, to appear, new jobs that are going to come, right? So that is where there are a lot of things that are happening from a job market itself. There are a lot of transformation happening in that in the world. And why is that happening, right? So technology trends, right? That is one of the major reason. Every day something is changing, right? Every day something is changing from a technology standpoint. You could hear from Google, you could hear from Microsoft that they are launching something new. You could hear from Apple. So every day something is changing. There are a lot of things happening around AI, and there are a lot of things happening around automation. A lot of people talk about automation. A lot of people talk about AI, how AI is going to change the uh, profile of the jobs that we have, how AI is going to change the job market itself, right? So there are a lot of technology trends that are happening in the world. And that's why I told, right, you should be cognizant about those changes so that you can prepare yourself. general economic slowdown. This is a fact. This is an elephant in the room, right? I mean, a lot of in a lot of parts of the world there are economic slowdown, especially US or Europe, right? There are a lot of impact from an economic standpoint. Customers are very hesitant to invest, right? Which means again the job market tough. I'm not telling you to kind of scare you, but I'm just kind of I want to put that kind of information to you so you understand, right, how you can prepare around that. So economic slowdown is happening. Green transition. This is something that probably emerged in last 5 years, right? I mean, a lot of companies are giving focus on how we can reduce the carbon emission, how companies can become more environmental conscious. So a lot of new jobs are emerging in this area, in especially in the green transition side. So that's something probably you may want to look into. Right? Demographic shifts. Again, this is happening again everywhere around the world, right? What is the impact of it? Because of these demographic changes, the customer requirements are changing. The what all in customers want or whatever they need, that are getting changed. So that is also transforming the job market as such. And of course, we know about the geopolitical tensions, right? I mean, uh, uh, whether it is in the Far East or whether it is in the South Asia, they're everywhere. Geopolitical tensions are happening. So there are disturbances happening because of that, right? Which is also having an impact on the job market. So that's why I want to kind of bring you to the reality, right? The job market is transforming. Okay, when I say transforming, some of the jobs are disappearing, some of the jobs are emerging, and the market is becoming very different. So be prepared for such a transforming job market. Now, in this job market, which is an ever-changing one, these are some of the skills, right, that we need to be aware of. Okay, uh, I'm calling it a disruption to skills, right? I mean, so whatever skill that are kind of very hot skills, maybe 5 years before, have completely changed now. So there are changes happening in the skill set, and that changes are happening very quickly. And again, it's a mix of core skills or technical skills and soft skills. Of course, the interesting aspect is that some of the soft skills are getting more important. So if you see, right, general, I mean, survey that was taken some time before, a couple of months before, say that okay, 40% of the skill sets that are there currently will become outdated in 5 years. So there are a lot of skill sets that are going to get outdated. So which means that reskilling is very important. So whatever skill you have and you think um, will very well get to you a corporate world uh, may not be the reality, and it is changing every day, right? So that's very important. Reskilling is very important. But there are something, right, that are kind of stays as green. Analytical thinking, right? This is, I think, most of the companies that look for now, right? How you can think analytically, how you can think differently, and how you can do some quick analysis, whether it is of a data or a situation. So analytical thinking is very important. Uh, Technology literacy, of course, as I mentioned, that it is changing. But one thing that I have seen is that, right, the domain knowledge is also becoming important. Whether it is a financial domain, whether it's a retail domain, a lot of companies look for a domain knowledge also, along with the technology literacy. AI and big data, no question about it. We discussed that, right? I mean, it's becoming more and more important. Networks and cyber security. This is something which is again becoming more important. because now a lot of us depend on online platforms, right? Whether it is an e-commerce website or whether it is a banking site. So again, the cyber security is becoming a very important aspect. So that is an emerging skill. It is becoming more important. Communication. All of us know it's a basic thing, right? But again, communication is something which every company look for. How clearly you can communicate, right? Which is becoming very important. Resilience, flexibility, and agility. I have put it together, but that is where, right, definitely companies are looking at how agile are they, how flexible are they, right? I mean, if you are very particular that, okay, I will work only on this kind of responsibility, or I will only handle this kind of responsibility. No, companies are not looking for that. They want people to be flexible. They want people to be agile, right? Quickly they can learn about a customer's problem, a new domain or a new area. So again, these are all important skills. Leadership and social influence, again, very, very, very important, especially when you get into the corporate world, right? How you interact with people, all that becomes very important. Creative thinking, curiosity, and continuous learning. Again, very important. And finally, empathy and active listening. So these are, as I mentioned, right, it's a kind of mix of soft skills and core skills. Now, definitely a question will come to your mind that, right, can all this be trained? Can all these skills, whatever I have mentioned, right, can all this be acquired? Can all this be trained? Yes. Answer is definitely yes. There are different ways that you can acquire this knowledge. There are different ways that you can practice in this area. So, my perspective is that everything or every skill, whether it is a soft skill or a core skill or a technical skill, it can be trained, it can be practiced. So that's the good news for all of you, right? It's trainable, and you can acquire the skills. Moving on, be prepared. Again, some of you probably would be looking for a job. Some of you would have probably waiting for an appointment from a company. All I know, right? Means so. Be prepared is something that you have to be always prepared. One of the important aspect of this is continuous learning and enhancing the skills. As I mentioned, right, um, uh, some of you may be a computer science graduate, some of you would have completed MCA, some of you would have done some certifications, but then again, continuous learning and enhancing your skills are very important. You cannot kind of sit and relax saying that, oh, I have completed my MCA, so I have everything to get a job. May not be. Keep updated, right? And this is what I in the beginning of the session I asked about a couple of questions, right? Uh, Keep updated. There are a lot of things that are happening every day in the world, right? Every day Sundar Pichai will come and make some statements, right? Or Satya will come and make some statements, right? I mean, how Google and Microsoft are kind of trying and changing the world, right? So there are a lot of these trends happening. There are market trends happening. I mean, how the markets are changing. And there are also things that are happening in your area. Be aware of that, right? I mean, when I say in your area, it could be your state, or it could be around your premises. There are a lot of things that are happening, right? There are a lot of things that are happening probably in the techno park, right? A lot of new companies are coming. Okay. We are actively now involved in the techno park for incubation of new companies, right? So a lot of things are happening. So be aware, keep updated about all these things. Networking, which is again very important, right? See the jobs, right? The job can come, the requirement for jobs can come in different forms, right? it could appear on a company website. It could come as a referral. It could come through some of your friends, or it could come as a kind of campus recruitment. But networking, right, which is very important. I just put LinkedIn as an example, but there are also other medias right now. I know today's generation are well versed with some of these technologies and apps. But it's very important that networking is important. And specifically, I'm talking about LinkedIn because LinkedIn is a very good platform, right? Where there are a lot of discussions happen around the technology trends. It's also a good way for you to connect with other people, right? So networking is important. Projects, internship, and certifications, right? And this is something definitely a lot of companies look at, right? So as I mentioned, you would have completed a post-graduation, you would have completed some advanced courses, but then again, we also look at, right, what kind of projects that you have done, what kind of internship that you have done. So don't miss any opportunity, right? Even if it is a kind of 1 month internship, if somebody is offering you, take it up. Definitely that will add value to your profile. That will definitely help you to get a more better job. Certifications, I mentioned, again, there are a lot of certifications that are kind of available free, right? Whether it is from Microsoft, Google, or even LinkedIn. If you go right there, LinkedIn has got a learning platform where you could see a lot of trainings and certifications are there. And these are all, there are free certifications and free trainings available. So please make use of that. And then finally in this, right, your profile, right, or a resume or CV, whatever you call, right? Even though there are some differences between all these terms, that's, again, it's very important for you to keep it updated. You should have an updated resume always ready so that you can share that. And the important thing in the profile, and this is something which I have seen, right? A lot of people put a lot of things in the resume, but when we try and understand more about those things in an interview, right? People, I mean, they don't know a lot of things on what they have put in. I mean, I'll talk about a simple example, right? I mean, I was interviewing a candidate a couple of days before, and that person has put in a project, right, which a person has done with a lot of complex technologies and other things. So I asked a simple question, right? Uh, uh, what is the customer requirement in this project? I mean, why do you want to implement this project? And that person couldn't answer that. And so that is what I'm saying, right? If you have actually worked in that project, right, you should know that, okay, why this project is important, okay, why this project stakeholder wants this project to be done. So please put only the facts in the resume or profile, and then make sure that you are able to explain it in a very detailed way, right? So that whoever asks those questions will get an impression about your capability and also integrity, because integrity is one of the main thing that we look into, right, when we hire candidates. When I say we, generally all companies look into. Yeah, so be prepared. Um, uh, keep your skills enhancing. Now, as I mentioned, right, you have a profile with you, you have some good networking available, you are continuously enhancing your skills. Now, there is a very good chance that definitely you would get a call for a test, a competitive test or competitive exam or an interview, right? It could be through the network or campus selection, or would be some of your friends would have referred, or through a company website, whatever that, right? Assuming that you are getting a call to attend an interview. So some of the things that, again, based on my experience, I've seen, right, it's very important. One is punctuality, right? If the interview is scheduled at, let's say, 10 a.m., be there. If it is an online interview, be there at least 5 minutes before. If it is a in-person one, try to be there at least maybe 15 minutes before. Because again, it is very important from a punctuality standpoint. Appearance, right? Again, this is very important. Even if you are attending an online interview, uh, your appearance should be professional. I'm not saying that, okay, you should wear a tie and blazer and all, but then at least you should be presentable, right? When someone looks at you, they should see that, okay, this person is interested in the job, right? And then that curiosity, right, in your eyes will definitely explain, right? And especially in the online interviews, right? One trend that I've seen, right? I mean, show that interest because in an online media, I mean, in online interview platform, right? You're there are very less opportunities to kind of show your body language, right? So it is very important that, right, you should appear curious, you should appear interest, right? I mean, so practice that, right? Research the company. Again, this is something which is very important. If let's say UST Global is calling for you and for you an interview or a competitive test, research about the company, understand that, okay, what this company is about. I mean, what are some of the customers that this company work for? What are some of the areas that this company work for? What are their values? All these things are very important, right? So when you kind of start in the interview process, right, when you start talking about your values and then how it is aligned to company's values, right? And those are some of the wow moments, right, for the interviewer. So make sure that, right, research the company. Again, as I put, right, there could be competency tests, there should be scenario-based tests. Okay, this is something which you can see, right? What you would be asked to kind of go through a case study and then present that case study. This happens in some of the companies. There could be group discussions, there could be interviews. But whatever that, right? I mean, the important thing is that how you are prepared and how you face those things. And be confident, okay? Because you have to show your confidence when you, especially in the group discussion or interviews, or if you're doing a presentation, be confident but not aggressive, right? There is a difference between how you can be confident and how you you are not aggressive. And the other important aspect is active listening, right? Understand the question, what the interviewer is asking, and answer to that, right? Because if you beat around the bush, right, after a couple of questions, the interviewer will lose interest and then that person will give up, right? So active listening is important. The other thing that is very important is that, right, uh, prepare to explain the gaps in career, right? You all people, some of you people may have a gap in career. You would have probably graduated in, let's say, 2020, and you may be appearing, you may be applying for a software engineer job now, right? So obviously the question will come, right? I mean, now you passed out in 2020, and now you're appearing for a software engineer interview. Why is that? So you should be able to explain the gap in the career. It could be because of some personal commitments that you had, personal issues that you had, or it could be due to your some family issues. But please be open and explain the gaps, right? And again, one thing that is important, right? I mean, whenever one thing that we are interested from an interviewer standpoint is to hear how you have actively utilize those gaps, right? Whether it is in terms of continuous learning or acquiring new skills or getting new certifications, etc., right? So that is very important, right? So gaps are fine because gaps are inevitable, but then you have to explain that or how you leverage those gaps. That will definitely give a good impression, right? And then, as I mentioned, right, what we look for generally there are 3-4 things, right? What we look for, especially from I'm talking from interview standpoint. Because you have to get into the interview maybe after a scenario-based test or a competency test. But then there are 3-4 things that we generally look into: how you are a cultural fit to the organization, right? Which is very important. That is what I'm saying. It is not only the skills that are important, but the attitude that you're showing, the examples that you are saying, right? So the cultural fitment is one thing very important. Um, the second thing that we look at is that teamwork, right? Whether how you will perform in a team environment, right? I mean, in all these projects, whether it is IT or any other industry, right? Teamwork is very, very important. So how you will perform in a team environment, how you will work along with the team. So that is what definitely we will look into. And then, of course, what is the value that you are bringing in, right? It's again not only the technical skills. Technical skills are very important, right? Because that's, of course, is the first hurdle. But other than that, right, what is the value that you are bringing to the organization, which is again very, very important. That is where the can-do attitude, right? I mean, yes, whatever situation you put me in, right, I will thrive in that situation, right? That kind of attitude, again, not an arrogant attitude, but that can-do attitude is very, very important, right? That confidence, it's very, very important. So that is what probably when you face an interview or when you go for a scenario-based test, these are some of the things, right, that you have to keep in mind. I hope I'm doing good in time, right? Yeah, again, I'll take it as a yes and go ahead. I couldn't hear you.
I think we still have some time left.
Yeah. Now, again, uh, this is the scenario where you have been selected by a company, right? You have been selected by a company. Now, that is where the transition need to happen, right? You have been a student, you have been a learner, you have been a candidate who is seeking job, right? Now you get into you have received an appointment order from a company, and then you get into the company, right? That is where the transition happens. And a lot of people find it difficult to get into that transition, right? Because there are a lot of changes that are there, right? When you look at a student world and a corporate world, right? So flexibility versus structure, right? All organizations have a structure. I'm not talking about the hierarchy of organization, right? All organizations have got certain policies, certain procedures, which probably may be new to you, right? Some organization have a policy like that. Okay, you have to be in office for all the 5 days a week, right? There are companies like that. Or there are some companies that may go for a hybrid structure. So you have to understand that structure. There could be some flexibility which some companies may offer. But then what I'm saying, right, that flexibility is within a framework, within a structure. It is not that, okay, flexible means that, right, whatever you want, you can do, right? Companies like Google are more flexible, but there are some companies that are not kind of probably that flexible. So you'll see a lot of these companies in the corporate world. But the important thing is that, right, that structure, policy, or the procedures or the process of that company is very important. You should understand that. And I'm sure, right, the induction will help you in that. A lot of things that will get covered in the induction and probably in the initial a couple of weeks, right? Theory versus application, right? Again, you would have done some projects, but this is where you actually get into how you are applying your skills, right? Maybe you may be seeing real live customer, a real live problem that the customer may have, right? So that is where there's a difference between theory and application. And uh, there are a lot of things that change. There are probably some of the things that should remain, right? Say, for example, continuous learning I talked about, right? Whether you are a student or whether you got into the corporate world, the continuous learning is an important thing that should continue. Right? It's that's very important. So there are a lot of things that changes, but there are certain aspects that you should continue, right? So, for example, integrity or the confidence, all these things are some of the aspects that you should continue. And then there is also a mindset shift, right? That is very important. Now, you have to believe that, okay, you're a professional, and then you have to embrace that world, right? Look at the policies, look at procedures, look at those things that you need to follow. So there is a mindset skill that need to happen. And it's very important for you to have that mindset shift quickly, maybe in a month or so, right? So that you easily adapt into that environment and a corporate environment or an office environment. Right? So that is again very important for you to have that mindset shift happen pretty quickly, right? When I say 1 month, right? Because the more the time it takes, right, the more difficult it becomes for you and as well as for the people that are working with you. So that's the beginning of the transition. Again, first impressions matter, right? See, most of the companies, they have a probation policy, which is a period, right? Maybe it could be for 6 months or maybe 3 months. That is where, right, they evaluate you, right, on your skill sets and the value that are bringing in. So again, the first impression, when I say first impression, it's not only on the first day, right? It could be for uh, the first few months, right? Again, the importance of punctuality and presentation, how you present, right? The company may have a policy that, okay, you have to wear shoes, right? I mean, a lot of companies have a policy, right? So follow that, right? I mean, because that's a policy and company wants, I would like you to follow that policy. A lot of companies have a policy that, okay, you have to work from the office at least 3 days a week. So follow that policy. So importance of punctuality and how you present yourself is very important. Some of the companies, right, they have customers visiting, and that is where the presentation becomes important, right? How you present yourself to the customer, right? Starting from what you wear and how you look, and always with that smile, right? So especially when a customer see someone smiling at them, right? They will be more comfortable, right? So that is very important. So there are a lot of companies where customers visit very often, right? So that's the importance of punctuality and presentation. Communication etiquette, right? Again, when you are sending an email, what are the etiquettes that you have to follow? When you are making a phone call, what are the etiquettes that you have to follow? I'm not going into detail, but there are a lot of materials available around what are the etiquettes that you have to follow from a communication standpoint, right? Especially when you are in an environment. Because remember, the person sitting next to you may be talking to a customer to address an escalation that had come from customer, and customer may be in already in a bad mood, and then if some disturbance that customer hears through the phone will agitate them more, right? So that is why it's very important to follow communication etiquette. Social intelligence at the workplace, right? Which is again, social intelligence is a very interesting term, right? Um, uh, this is where, right, how you will kind of understand the people that are in your team, how you establish the connection with them, how you establish the rapport with them. So it is not only your peers, it's also your managers, or it could be the other people in the organization, the supporting functions, right? Whether it is an admin or a finance function. So it's very important to have that social intelligence, to have that connect created, and understand what your employer expects of you, right? And if you have any questions, right, please ask the manager. Definitely, I'm sure everyone will be happy to explain you what are they expecting from you, right? Whether it is in terms of your deliverables, whether it is in terms of what enhancements that you should make. So that is very important. And again, it is important from a feedback standpoint, right, to understand and get that feedback very often so that you can make changes. And then again, it is also important to you understand what you can expect from your job and what not to, right? Both are important, right? Say, for example, if you are expecting that, right, you will get promoted probably in 6 months, right? That may not be a kind of the actual situation, right? Because there are certain guidelines, there are certain policies that you may have to follow. So you have to be very clear about what you can expect from your job and what not to expect, right? So having all these things right would help you in creating that impression, right? And of course, if you are able to sustain that impression, right, that is where your career prospers, and you will quickly rise in the career, right? So that is very important for all of you. Create that first impression, which also will help you to kind of successfully move ahead of the probation. Now, navigating the workplace culture. So you have created a first impression. Now, how you will navigate the workplace culture? As I mentioned, right, a lot of organizations have their own kind of DNA culture, right? And that you will definitely understand from the values. What are the important things that the organization takes care of? All those things. So observe and adapt to the organizational culture. That's what, right? Probably it may take some time for you to adapt to that organizational culture, but the easily you adapt, right? Better for you. Respect diversity and inclusion. Very important thing. A lot of companies give a lot of importance to the diversity and inclusion, and any issue that you create in these areas is considered as a serious offense by a lot of organizations. So diversity and inclusion is very important, uh, especially right in there's one thing that uh, we have seen and we have tried and corrected. Right, there could be a team. A simple example, right? There could be a team where you have people from different parts of the country, right? And of course, they may have different uh, uh, mother tongue or languages, first language that they have, right? So if each of you started kind of talking in your regional language to a friend, probably from the same region, the other people in the team will definitely will get upset, right? So that's why diversity, right? The team will be of diversity, so you have to respect that diversity. That's why I mean a lot of companies, right, they insist that okay, English should be the common language. So it's very important for you to respect that diversity. Inclusion, right? Again, people may be from different backgrounds. People may have different behavioral patterns. People may have different challenges. So please include them. Please accept them, and it is very important that you follow that, right? Because what I'm saying, right? Any kind of issues arising out of diversity or not following the diversity and inclusion, you could land up in big trouble because a lot of organizations consider this as very serious thing. Build healthy professional relationship, as I mentioned, right? Not only with your peers, but with other supporting functions also, right? Especially, right? I've seen some of the people, right? Again, a very bad behavior among a lot of people. That okay, they may be very good to their managers when they behave, but the behavior to a supporting staff may be rude. right? And these are some of the behavioral things that everyone should change. Right? You should treat everyone equal and with respect, right? So nobody has given a right to anyone to disrespect a supporting staff. That supporting staff may not be even a direct employee of the company, but then still, it's very important for you to have that. Next point is that how you manage the time, stress, and workload, right? This is again very important. Again, keep this in mind. It doesn't mean that okay, you are sitting in the office for 15 hours, you are considered as a better employee, right? That's not true. So some people may think that okay, if I spend more time in the office, my manager will give me a better performance rating. No, that's not the case. So it's very important for you to manage the time. You need to have a proper work-life balance, which because that is very important from your own. Whether it is health or your mental well-being, it's very important that you need to have that balance and balance that workload. If you have a problem with the workload, be open to discuss with your manager, right? And definitely, the manager would be able to support you. Then continuous learning and upskilling. Again, I don't want to repeat it because I've been telling this in a lot of instances. This is something very important. I've listed down some of the key principles that you should follow in a workplace. I will not probably go into detail of all these things, but integrity, I mentioned, right? This is very important because this is something which most of the companies will not tolerate if you are breaching the integrity. Accountability is very important. That is where, right? I mean, you take accountability of getting some task done that is assigned to you, right? And again, I have a lot of examples, right, where if people have not taken accountability, you may think that, oh, I'm a software engineer. What difference it will make if I make a simple bug, right? I'm just taking an example. That simple bug, when it goes to production, may cost maybe thousands of dollars lost for a customer, right? So that is where accountability becomes very important. Whatever you are delivering, you should make sure that okay, you are delivering that with quality, you are delivering it on time, you are delivering that as per the customer expectation, right? One other example that I always talk to the new joiners in our company, right? As I mentioned, right, we have a lot of customers, and that too, the educational institutions in UK as our customer, all right? So a person sitting in India, maybe miles and miles away, how a person can influence the learning of a student sitting miles away, right? That is the beauty of the accountability. Sorry. Was it a question? Okay, I'll continue. So accountability is very important. Transparency, collaboration, how you work in a team, how you support each other. And again, innovation and creativity, right? This is something which every company values, right? Don't stop being curious. Be curious. Be brave to express your ideas and suggestions. You may have a lot of ideas. You may have a lot of suggestions. So be brave to express that. So that's something what we call, right? Be curious and be brave to express your ideas and thoughts. So these are some of the key principles that you can follow. It is applicable to almost all organizations, all industries, right? Nothing specific to IT industry alone. I think I have a couple of more slides. I'll make it a little more quick so that we'll get some time for any question and answer. Again, from a growth and career path, right? It's very, again, very important. Be patient, right? Promotions and rewards comes with time and consistency. Don't expect that, oh, I have done something good for 3 months. I completed this project, so then I will be promoted to senior software engineer. Don't expect that, because there are certain policies, right? Of course, all companies value the performance. They reward the performer, but then, right, there could be some framework, there could be some policies related to that. So be patient. Promotions and rewards will definitely come if you are consistently performing. Seek mentors and role models, again, which is very important. This is a lot of companies have mentor program, so please avail of that. But even though there was no formal mentoring program, right, try and get a informal mentor in the organization. It need not be your direct manager. It could be people from other parts of the organization, and keep them as a role model. Set short-term and long-term career goals. Again, it's very, very important, because long-term career goals are very important. Don't kind of think your career only for 1 year or 2 year, right? And that is where, again, right, how you plan, what you want to do probably in next 5 years, right? If you join as a software engineer, what you want to do, whether you want to become an architect, whether you want to become a scrum master, whether you want to become um, uh, a project manager. So that's what, right, means that long-term career goal is also important, so that you can manage your career, you can plan your career accordingly, right? You can take trainings, you can take certifications accordingly, and take decisions on change of job wisely, right? Don't take decisions based on an emotion, right? You would have had a fight with your manager. You would have had fight, or some customer would have kind of uh, uh, shouted at you. All this kind of things happens, right? I mean, but don't take a decision to change the job because of some of those things, right? Because if you take decisions when you are emotionally upset, right? uh, that may not be the right decision. So take decisions on change of the job wisely. Definitely, all people change their job because of different reasons, right? Maybe because of better career path, maybe because of better compensation, all that things, right? But what I'm saying, right, that whatever decision you are taking, take that by considering all the pros and cons. Discuss with your mentor, discuss with your role model. They may be able to kind of guide you, or discuss with your friend, right? They may be able to guide you. And I think this is my last slide. Uh, yeah, so as I mentioned, right, I'll not talk about continuous learning, but that is very important. Networking, as I talked about, right? Don't stop your networking after you join the company. Network with the outside world also. That is also important, right? Not only with the people inside your company. That will help you in your career, achieving your career goals. Awareness about the changes happening. Uh, Project works, as I mentioned, right? I mean, especially now, since you are seeking new opportunities, don't miss any opportunity to get, to take an internship or a project for a company. Stay humble, but stay hungry, right? Humble is very important, right? People say how you can be humbly confident, right? I'm sure, right? Most of you would have seen how Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam interacts, right? He's very humble, but he's confident. He knows what he's talking about, right? So uh, be confident, but be humble, right? Stay open to feedback and change, because which is very important. What you may consider that you are may not be what other person would be considering you as, right? So it's very important to take that feedback, take feedback frequently, and how you can correct some of your aspects. It's very important to get that feedback and act on it, right? That is very, very, very important. Finally, right, I'm sure all of you have more potential than you think. We all have. human beings have more potential. We are wired to kind of act in different situations. So all of you have more potential than you think, right? So be confident, and I wish you all the best in all your future endeavors, and I'm sure that the right opportunity will come to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Uh, can you hear me? Again, I hope my
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. So actually, this is probably one of the best career advice in such a short time I have seen. You seem to have covered almost all the aspects. Especially for freshers, it may be as in for people to relate to many of these things, it may take some time. So therefore, people who have listened to it, I would advise, I would also like to second what sir has said, that these are all true. We will all face these things as we get into the career. Even probably this slide this last slide is a good summary. Even if you don't take anything else, just these few things, the continuous learning, networking, stay humble and stay hungry. These things are the things that will definitely take you ahead in your career. So I want to thank you for that. While we wait for people to, ask, prepare some questions you can ask. I think I would like to ask a couple of questions. One, I've seen a lot of people ask is, once they get into the career, after 1 or 2 years, they have to soon make a decision about whether to stay as a technical person or you have to go for management related roles. So how can one take that, how do you tackle that situation? Or,
Yeah. So thank you for that question. Right. I'll answer it probably in a different way. Right. As I mentioned, the skill sets are changing. Skill sets are evolving. Right. So what companies look at, right? Uh, Most of the companies, they don't look at a manager only skill set person, right? What they look at is a techno manager, a manager who has got uh, good technical background, okay, a manager who has knowledge from a domain standpoint, a manager who can also uh, manage projects, whether it is a agile project or whatever that kind, right? So a combination is very important, right? So, for example, if for any company is looking for, let's say, a delivery manager, right? A delivery manager is a kind of senior role, maybe a person who have done a lot of projects, right? Definitely, a company will look into what is the domain knowledge of this delivery manager. What are some of the technical uh, 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 aspects that this person? It's not that okay that person have to sit and code or kind of address an issue, but at least the person should be able to guide. The person should be able to direct, right? Or the person should be able to kind of uh, support the team, right? So it's very important to have that kind of role, which have all the aspects, right? So even if a person thinks that okay, I wanted to become a project manager or a delivery manager, please don't get detached from the technical aspect. Please don't get detached from the domain aspect, because that is very important. Right? Uh, Nobody, I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? Nobody may, if I have two choices, right? A delivery manager probably are not very very well accustomed with the technology, at least don't know how technology could be applied, and a person who has got a kind of uh, technically aware, then definitely I would prefer that person, right? Because the scenario or the situation have changed, right? Where companies look for a pure managerial kind of role, right? Because the leadership aspect is everywhere, whether you are an architect, whether you are a delivery manager, or you are a practice leader. Definitely, the leadership aspects are very, very important. So it's very important for a person um, to move into different streams. That fine, they can take that decision, but it doesn't mean that okay, they can be only probably looking at that aspect.
Thank you. Coming in. If you don't want to speak up, you can also probably type in the comment box.
Be curious, be brave. Again, I mean, I have kind of, I'm not mentioning that because I'm not hearing any question from the participants, but it's very, very important, right? When you get into the corporate world, right? As I mentioned, right? Please be curious, please be brave to ask questions, right? That will definitely create an impression with the stakeholders, whether it is the manager or a customer, right? That's very important.
That reminds me of one again, since I interact a lot with youngsters and also from personal experience. Another aspect is in a lot of one is everyone has a little bit of nervousness and all that, but certain people struggle with they have that inherent that introversion. So, are there any examples from your career or anyone you have met who people who are introverted and then really made an impact in their career and how?
Definitely. I mean, there are I mean, lot of introverts, right? See, again, this extrovert introvert classification. Sometimes I feel that it's not the kind of right way to classify. But as you mentioned, a lot of people, they are kind of not very much comfortable in speaking up, right? But that is something which you can kind of train yourself, right? There are a lot of introverts that get trained, natural introverts, right? If there are different psychological exercises that you can take to understand what kind of a person you are. So there are a lot of natural introverts. They become adaptable to the situation, and that adaptability comes from practice and some of the training techniques, right? Where you will become from a business standpoint, you will become. I'm not saying extrovert, but definitely there are uh, um, uh, uh, changes that I've seen that right that a person has kind of become more presentable, more talkative, and more confident. So that's very much trainable, even though a lot of people are introvert by their nature, right? So definitely training can change, practice can change, and situation can change. I've seen a lot of leaders, even people like Sundar Pichai, right? I'm just taking an example. Well, he was an introvert when he was a student. Now he is the CEO for one of the biggest companies in the world. So that's where, right, the situational thing comes, right? People adapt to that, and there are a lot of examples uh, uh, in that I have seen. I myself is an introvert. Okay, because there are naturally introvert, right? I mean, there are situations where probably I may not speak up, right? Especially when you go for some social engagement, whether it is a marriage function or, right? I mean, it is not very easy for me to kind of make friends for people probably I may not know. All right. So there are a lot of people like that, right? And the other thing, good thing about introverts, right? I'm not saying that because I'm a natural introvert. They are creativity. They are good in creativity. They are good in idea generation, right? So they have to use that as also as a kind of strength. But you are right that adaptability is important, and that is possible. Uh, that's what I'm saying. Everything is trainable.
Thank you. I think one more question has come in the chat box. Uh,
Okay,
how
I
will
couldn't
we
see it.
tackle
Yeah.
corporate politics?
Yeah, so corporate politics is something that's part of all of your kind of corporate job, right? So there are certain things, right? One, the best thing is to not to get involved in the politics, okay? If you can, right? Please uh, keep a distance away from the corporate politics, right? There are different kind of politics that happens, right? You may not get credit for what you are doing. That's one part of thing that happens, right? Or people may be telling wrong things about you on back of you, right? So there are different kind of politics happening. So one thing is that try and stay out of politics, okay? Then be humble, okay? And the integrity and accountability is definitely important. That will help you in kind of getting out of the politics. And the other thing is that, right, that is what very important, right? The value that you bring in, right? Uh, See, for example, right, whatever people try to play politics with you, if you have demonstrated your value to a customer, right? Nothing can touch you, right? Nobody can touch you, right? Because a customer is very important for that, right? I mean, so even though people start trying to bring in politics, right? If you are able to demonstrate that value, then nothing will be able to touch you. And then, of course, with experience, right, you know, right, how to kind of avoid politics, how to tackle politics sometimes, right? I mean, so, but be yourself, uh, uh, right? Uh, so definitely this integrity, humility, and humanity, these are the three things that I've seen, right, which will definitely help you in getting out of the politics.
I think there is one more question, and probably with that we will probably wind up. About Snendu is asking, even after preparing well for interviews or discussions, the voice breaks and the brain goes numb. What can be done?
Yeah, so that's again a lot of time it happens, right? So there are some simple physical exercise techniques that people talk about, like take a long breathe before you talk about, right? And there are different techniques available with that. One thing that had helped me, I mean, I can talk about a couple of things that had helped me in this, right? Because these are the scenarios everyone faced, right? When I started my career, maybe 30 years before, right? I mean, this butterflies in the stomach that we call, right? I mean, or you will become total blank, right? So all that things happens. So a couple of things that have helped. One thing is whatever gives you confidence right before the interview, right? It could be, as I mentioned, right? It could be a deep breath, or it could be a small prayer, right? What I do, very open to admit, uh, I used to, and even now also I do, right? I do a small prayer, right? I mean, whatever prayer or whatever that you believe, right? I mean, you may have different beliefs. A small prayer will definitely bring that confidence to you, right? Because then you will think that there is something, there is somebody to kind of support. So there are physical techniques like deep breathe. There are things like prayer, and there are also some of the things that I mentioned, right? If you are going to face an interview or online, be there a bit early, right? That will help you in getting accustomed with the environment. If the interview is at 10 a.m., if you are logging in at 10 a.m., right, then you're kind of jumping into directly into the process, right? Then you will not get enough time for your brain to kind of adjust, right? So which is very important. What I have again um, personally experienced, right? I mean, again, I'm talking about when we have this in-person interviews, right? I used to reach the location maybe 15, 20 minutes or even 30 minutes before, right? So your mind is clear, right? And you don't have any problem. Otherwise, you may be thinking of other things. Then you get accustomed with the environment, right? And that kind of gives you that confidence. Even in the online things, right? What I suggest is that you log in maybe about 5 minutes before, right? And then try and talk to yourself, right? In that 5 minutes before the interviewer joins, right? So talking to yourself, maybe a prayer or taking a deep breath, all these things will definitely help. Yeah, but this is something which you can definitely I mean, change by practice, right? There are a lot of mock interviews sessions that happens, right? So more you practice, right, uh, you will get accustomed to it.
You. So, thank you for the and a lot of those candid comments. So thank you for that. I think there probably aren't any more questions, and we have also short past our planned time. So maybe we can wind up. Jovia,
Yeah.
please do
If they
the
have any questions, right, they probably they can direct to you, right, and then of course,
we can
yeah,
collect. So
you can let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Right, I mean,
sure,
I know,
sure.
right, means people may have.
Actually, yeah. So actually, we have shared a link in the comment box where you can give your feedback is there, and also if you want your participation certificate, you can fill that up, and we will send that to you for your college.
Yeah, and please feel free to share your question.
And yeah, we
Yeah,
can pass
then
it on to you.
yeah, I'm very happy to kind of answer. Right.
Thank you very much. Let me request Jovia to do the honors and close the meeting.
Okay, once again, good evening. So, on behalf of SkillActz and everyone, I thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. You gave us many insights about many things. Thank you so much for your valuable time. I also extend my gratitude towards Answer for making this event happen and also technical team for support throughout the session. I'm also very grateful to students and all others who are present here today for participating and making this session an interactive session. Thank you all. If there are
And
any
thank you.
friends of you who couldn't join, please let them know that the recording of the session will be available on our SkillActz YouTube channel. Thank you.
And thank you, Anand, thank you, Jovi, and thank you, SkillActz, right, for giving me an opportunity. I mean, it's always energetic for me, right, to kind of talk to the young crowd, right. So, I mean, I always enjoy that, right. So, thank you for the opportunity, and